Hiya. We're going to do something a wee bit different today. We are going to grow mushrooms, oyster mushrooms. We did this last year, but what we did was we grew it in straw, which worked really well, but we had to pasteurise the straw first by soaking it in boiling water to kill out any germs or any competing moulds that might try and outgrow the mushrooms, because obviously they're a fungus. So this is a way that we're going to do it where you don't have to bother with any of the pasteurisation. We're going to grow it in used coffee grinds that you can get from any coffee shop really, or a lot of them anyway. Try the bigger ones. I actually got this from McDonald's on Crow Road and they were lovely, they were really helpful. They gave me this massive bag actually, which we won't use it all, but if you've got some left over you can chuck it in your garden because it's good for the plants as well, or in your compost heap if you've got one. So what we want to do before we start is, because basically that passes by the pasteurisation process, because it's already been boiled. It's killed any germs or bacteria or fungus that's in there, so you don't need to worry about it. And this was actually still warm when we got it. But before you start, you need to clean everything thoroughly. So that's why I'm wearing gloves. The gloves look a bit dirty, but it's just coffee on them. And so we've cleaned all this down, and we want to be wiping everything. Wipe your bowl, wipe your scissors that I'm going to use to open the packet. And the things that you want to buy, you will need mushroom spawn. That's the main thing, and you can get that on the internet. Is the best place really. There's loads of suppliers. It only costs a couple of quid. I think this was £8.50 for 5 packets like this, and I'm going to use 1 packet today. So it's not much considering the amount of mushrooms, and considering the kind of mushrooms we're growing are quite an expensive type. So I'll get going. You'll also need some sort of bag to put it in. I've bought these special ones. They've got like a little patch on them. So they are really good. They're called filter bags. If you want to be specific, they're called Unicorn 10T filter bags. But you can actually, if you don't want to buy them, you can just use freezer bags and poke a few wee holes in them. But these give you just the perfect amount of air going in and out, apparently. And it worked quite well last year. So what you want to do first is just break up, well, what you want to do before that, what I've already done, is weigh out exactly 1 kilo of coffee grounds. So you want to do about 10%, about 10 to 1 coffee grounds to mushroom spawn. And then just break up all the little chunky bits. You'll get bits like that of coffee. You don't want to leave any bits like that, because that can cause problems. So you just break all that up. It's quite a fun bit actually. And then once that's done, you need to make sure that, it smells amazing actually, you need to make sure that you've got roughly the right amount of water in. This is a wee bit dry. The right amount of water for coffee grounds is about 55%. So normally if you get it, it should be about right. I don't think this is going to be. The way to test it is if you squeeze it in your hand, it should go into a ball, but this is just breaking up. So we're going to have to put, it's almost going into a ball, but it's breaking up. It should go into a bowl and a little bit of water should squeeze out. So I'm going to put a wee bit of water out the kettle in there. There we go. Don't want to put too much. There we are. Give that a good mix around. Now, this is feeling a bit better now. That water was warm. You don't want it to be hot when you put it into the bags. Oops, I'm flinging this everywhere. It's a good job I put a wee bit extra in. I knew I would do this. But this is feeling better now. Just a wee dribble of water helps. It's a bit like baking. There we go. So now, I take a bit in my hand, squeeze it together. Oops. Oh, it almost holds together. Oh, like that. I'm going to put a bit more water in that again. Just like baking. This should do it now. So, if you're doing this in a really big batch, what you want to do is add maybe about 20% of chopped up cardboard or chopped up straw, just in case there's excess water. That soaks it up and it also helps aerate it. But if you're just doing a wee bag like I am, then just the coffee grounds on their own are easy and are just enough, because you shouldn't get too much excess water. Let's see, I bet it's too wet now. There we go, that's fine. Yeah, that's grand, that holds together now. Just like that. Yeah. So, now what we're going to do, is the fun part. This is the oyster mushroom spawn. So this stuff is, you get two different kinds of this. You get grain spawn and you get sawdust spawn. And the grain spawn, apparently you get more mushrooms from it. It's a wee bit more expensive, but you get more mushrooms from it. But it's also, it can get contaminated more easily, so that's why we need to be really, really careful of the hygiene around it, because if you do this and you find that your bag is going all green mouldy once you've started it, then it might be just have been taken over by a different type of mould and it might not work. So this is why it's so important to be very, very careful of hygiene at this time. I'm just going to open this bag. You give it a wee break up first and then cut into it. With clean scissors. Oh, it smells quite mushroomy actually. Shouldn't be surprised at that. Oh, there we go. And then let's just break all that up in there. You can actually see the grains in there. Yeah, we go like that. Yeah. So let's just break this up a bit and then we mix it all together nice and evenly. Feels really funny. The stuff we did last year was already mixed up for us. It was a wee kit that we got. So this is the first time doing it for real. Hopefully this will work. Right, and then we just mix it right through. There. That's fairly even. This, and then we can start putting it into the bag. So, this wee bag, fill this up. You don't want to completely fill this bag, you want to have it up to about here, so that it's got a bit of room to breathe at the top as well. After going on about being clean and tidy, I'm making a mess everywhere. Oof. But it does smell good. Here we are. That's this. So then, what we want to do is just staple the top of that, or you can put a bit of sellotape on it or something. Just fold it over a little bit. Like that, fold it over, I'll put a couple of staples in it, and stick it in a cupboard. I'm going to put it in my boiler cupboard, because it's nice and warm there, it's dark, the kind of place that mushrooms will love, and I'll put it there for between 3 and 6 weeks. And what will happen is something called mycelium, the little threads, they're kind of like the equivalent to roots that mushrooms have. They'll start growing, and you'll notice that the bag will have this white stuff, the mycelium, and in 3 to 6 weeks time the bag will be completely white, and then you want to take it out the cupboard and you want to cut a slit in it because it needs light, and then you want to put it somewhere like maybe near a window, or it can be outside in a shed, as long as it's above about 10 degrees, but it needs to be a wee bit cooler than the cupboard. You can have it inside, but it needs to be a bit cooler than the cupboard. And then you want to just mist it every day with just a wee squishy gun. And if you do that, in about a week you should start seeing mushrooms coming out, and they'll be ready to pick when the little cups on them start to turn up, and you can pick them by either just cutting the whole lot off or sort of twisting them, whatever way you like. So yeah, if you have a go at this, let me know how you get on, and I'll keep you posted and tell you if this works or not, but fingers crossed anyway. Okay, see you soon, thanks, bye bye.